Am I the a-hole for kicking my parents out of my brother's birthday and refusing to give up my siblings? I, 25 male, live in a house of mine with my little siblings, 15 male, 12 female, and 11 male. My parents, 44 male and 43 female, got divorced 3 years ago. My father left to be with his lover. Then a month later, my mom showed up in my house. It is an inheritance. To ask me if I can have the kids for 2 days or 3 until she settled down, because she was moving down to her boyfriend's house as well. It's been 3 years now, and all my siblings get from them is a visit once a week. They pay child support, doesn't help that much, but I haven't taken them to court. Now, 2 weeks ago, my brother turned 15. I hosted a party. My parents helped us to buy the cake and the sodas, and I invited them because, after all, they are still their parents. But I specified on the invitation that I didn't want to see their spouses because I simply don't like them. Anyway, they came with their spouses and stepchildren. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to make a scene. After all, it wasn't my birthday, and if my brother was okay with it, I was too. Everything became a mess at the family photo. I said I wanted a picture of me and my siblings together. My parents couldn't help in making it about them. My mom requested that her stepson should be in the picture too because he is also family. And my dad said that his stepdaughter should be there too, but also his wife because she's carrying a baby. I was shocked because of those random and nonsense comments. So I just couldn't keep it in and told them that they were selfish, irresponsible, narcissistic, terrible parents, and their requests were out of the question since those kids, I have nothing against them, are not our family. It will never be. I also told my dad he should have a vasectomy and not allowed to have more kids. Then I screamed, "And if you think I'll raise this too, you're wrong." My mom started crying, calling me rude. My dad's wife cried too, so I kicked them out. My siblings told them to go, so they both accused me of turning my siblings against them and were trying to take them by force, but they refused. Now, my mom and dad said they'll go to court to have custody back because I'm a bad example of disrespect and irreverence. In my country, the legislation allows my siblings to decide who they want to live with, and they say they'd pick me. My grandma, father's mother, said I should not have restrained my parents' authority over my siblings, and it's not my job to take care of them and that I should give them up to let my parents be responsible again. My father's brother said that I was the a-hole for making my mom and a pregnant woman cry. So am I the a-hole here? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Not even close. Deadbeat parents that abandon their kids can GTFO. You do you, young man, and keep those kids safe, just like you've been doing for 3 years. Best of luck to you. Agreed, and I would so take them both to court for proper child support. Not the a-hole. Your mother left her own children to be on their own and forced you to take responsibility. The same with your dad. Your little sibling are old enough to understand how you feel and probably feel like you do, left behind. I don't feel left behind because I can't miss what I never had. They didn't raise me. It was my mom's mom because they were too young and had to finish high school. But my siblings really feel left behind. Wait, so having kids they then abandon is a pattern with these people? Why even have kids? I have no idea why they keep having children, since it's proven they are not the best parents. I'm just sorry for the little child coming. I hope the new baby doesn't run the same luck. Not the a-hole. You should seek legal custody of the minors though, and an actual support order from your courts. OP, you really do need to make this legal. I'm sure it will relieve a lot of anxiety from your siblings too, if they know they can't just be uprooted back to the parents that couldn't be bothered to care for them for the last 3 years. You are their home now. Not the a-hole and actually a damn great human. Much love to your little family of siblings. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law I'd testify against her if she sought full custody in her ridiculous hypothetical? My female 28, sister-in-law female 26, likes to play this stupid game where she brings up hypothetical scenarios or asks questions that she knows will make her upset if she doesn't get the specific answer she wants. I've asked her twice to stop involving me in this because I'm not typical, and my responses won't be to her liking. One of these scenarios, and she's serious about it, is that my brother should get an apartment where we currently live, so he can continue to work and provide for her and their kids, while she moves to a completely different state to live with her family. She's brought this scenario up with me at least 3 times and other family members even more. My brother is obviously against it. She doesn't want a divorce, she just wants this living arrangement. I asked who would have the kids, and she said she would expect to have them full-time because they are her kids. That he can come and fly and visit on his days off whenever he can squeeze it in. He is in a demanding field. This means maybe once a month, if that. I said that was messed up, and that nobody should interfere with a parent's access to their children unless the parent is truly dangerous and bad for the kid. She said she didn't see a problem with it. I told her that even though I love her, I'd encourage him to petition the court to at least get 50-50 custody. She lost it saying nobody will take her kids from her, that they belong to her. This is where I got pissed/snapped. She said, I wish he would take me to court. I have some dirt on him and I'd be happy to air everything out. Before this, it was just a stupid hypothetical, but this threat made me upset. And I told her I'd 100% be a character witness against her having them 100% of the time, especially given the way she talks about her dad, who she wants to live with, being mentally abusive, and that she refuses to seek therapy even though she admits she has problems that manifest in some very unhealthy behaviors/choices. That my brother deserves to be in his kids' lives 50% of the time if she wants to unnecessarily tear apart her family, and she could have them the other 50%. She told me to mind my business and not get involved. That it's between her and my brother, and I have no right to insert myself in custody issues. After that, I was over it. Anytime she tried to prolong the fight with me, screaming at me, I just kept repeating, don't ask for my opinion on things if you don't want to hear the answer, as I packed my things and left. So, am I the a-hole for saying I testify against her in this ridiculous hypothetical she brings up all the time? After sitting on it for a bit, I feel somewhat bad for openly saying it, and angry at myself for feeding into her game that I constantly try to avoid playing. Even more so for getting visibly angry at a frigging hypothetical. But the truth is, if my brother tried to do that to her, I'd tell him the same thing. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Jesus. I recommend telling your brother about this. She's crazy. He called me immediately after to ask what happened. I told him, but he knows she's brought this up to other people. He's aware she likes to rage bait with hypotheticals and questions she knows she won't like, and he just ignores it. He's very stoic, not philosophical version, and so he can look past it without an emotional response. To him, it's not real. And if it becomes real, he will take methodical steps to ensure his needs are met. This happened like 2 days ago, and I just had been ruminating on it. But the same day, one of the first things she said to me was, if we didn't have kids, do you think your brother would still be with me? I just told her to stop, and I'm not playing this game. I told her these questions highlight an extreme sense of insecurity, and that she needs to seek help to understand why she feels this way and work to resolve it. I can't count how many times I've told her she needs therapy. She has a tremendous amount of positives, but her unwillingness to seek help blocks her full potential. Then again, I'm constantly telling everyone they need therapy. I myself have a lot of trauma and mental health issues, which is why I have gone through extensive therapy and continue to seek it out. I also take medication. I am disappointed in myself because I completely backtracked in my emotional regulation during this discussion. Not the a-hole. I don't think it's hypothetical anymore. The first time she brought it up, maybe, but not now. Your brother should prepare for this to possibly happen. Does she take the kids go and visit her parents without him? She may go and not come back. I think that's why I got upset. The first time I heard it was when I was staying with my mom a couple of years ago, and she brought it up to me upset that she said it. I told her how I would have handled it. The first time she brought it up to me was unprompted, and she was talking to me as if my response would obviously be, "That's a great idea. I don't know why my brother wouldn't agree to it." This all started because I was talking about how I want to live separately from, but close to, any future partner I have for an extensive number of reasons. I listed the positives and mentioned how some of my friends who live with their partners started considering the pros of doing so with their own partners, but would never push this arrangement now because it is not their original agreement with their partner. She agreed and then brought up the scenario again. I told her it was completely different because 1, it's in separate states, and 2, there are children involved. No, she does not take the kids to go visit them without my brother, or without discussion presently. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to take my half-brother on a trip and refusing to share the start and end date? My sister Pam, 29 female, and I, 22 female, are from our dad's first marriage. I live currently with Pam in another city while my dad, stepmom, and half-siblings stayed in our family home. Pam and I love to vacation, and I work extra jobs to save up so we can travel together. I want to mention I really do love my half-brother, 18 male, but I'm way closer with Pam. She is the closest person I have, and she has been a great big sister, taking care of me. My half-brother Jake has this sneaky thing he does. He'd hit me up and ask me to buy him something from the city we live in. The first time it was a video game that really could only be bought in the city I live in because there was an early release there or something. It was $100, and after sending it, he let me know he was short on cash and will repay me later on. I asked him 2 months later and he just laughed awkwardly. I decided to let it go. He did it a few more times, pressuring me to buy stuff and send them over and never paid. On to the issue. Jake called me and asked if he could join Pam and I on our trip. I said sure, but our parents should buy him the ticket and pay for the hotel stay. Jake told me I can pay for it and he will pay me back. I told him I won't because that's over $600, and that's literally all I have left. He got annoyed and told me he'd pay. I said great, then do it and you can join. He got mad and said I was a bad sister for not paying now, as tickets or hotel availability might be gone in the next days, and I could clearly ask Pam to chip in. He said I'd do it for Pam, so I should do it for him. I felt bad, but refused again. He called me an a-hole and hung up. My stepmom and dad called and urged me to just book the hotel, which can be paid in full later, but I refused again. I said Jake should pay whatever Jake needs to pay. Pam backs me up, but my stepmom is upset and said I don't see Jake as a real sibling. Jake called me today and asked for the dates of the trip, and I said I no longer wanted him to come along since he was creating problems already before we leave. He pushed for the exact dates and time, and I again refused to give them. My stepmom has been blowing up my phone, and I have conveniently put it on silent. I feel like I went overboard. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. And you can tell your stepmother that if your full sibling had a habit of asking you to buy things for her, telling you should pay you back and then not doing it, you wouldn't be eager to keep buying things for her either. It's not that Jake is a half-sibling. It's that Jake is a mooch. Exactly. Use the whole you don't see him as a real sibling as just an excuse. If it meant so much to stepmom and dad, they should have fronted the money. That's their kid. It's easier to tell OP and then talk crap when she said no. Truth be told, good on OP for standing up for herself. Not stay home, but have a simple conversation with stepmom and dad on the same call. Say you are sorry for the way this has blown up, but you were hurt that they are accusing you of not loving Jake. Explain how Jake has been taking advantage of you with the purchases. Exact amounts would be great. I've bought 4 things to the tune of $280 he still has yet to pay me for. And remind them you support yourself. Work extra jobs to be able to do that. And he created your lack of trust of being paid back. You don't appreciate being made out to be the bad guy when all you are doing is being practical and financially responsible as they taught you. If they want him to go, and they'd like you to pay up front and let him owe them the money, you might reconsider. But being blamed and badgered for his actions, and for him not learning the same financial responsibilities, is not helping. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not taking my niece and nephew with me on a trip to Colorado and refusing to change my plans to be able to bring them? I grew up in Colorado and we moved to boring Ohio before I could finish climbing all of the 14,000 feet peaks and try to make it back every year or a few times a summer so I can knock the rest off my list. I have 9 left. Ellingwood, Blanca, Little Bear, Sunlight, Aeolus, Windham, Red Cloud/Sunshine, and my planned finisher, San Luis. The first 6 of these listed peaks are difficult climbs. The first 3 require a long backpacking trip in, and the second 2 do as well, at a train that may or may not run. Little Bear is considered one of the most difficult and dangerous, requiring ropes and helmets for most climbers. My brother heard that I'm planning a trip to Colorado and he wants me to take his kids with me. I said no flat out. I explained which mountains I planned, and he should have gotten the hint. But he told me that I should just switch the order I do them in and bring the kids with me in San Luis. I've planned a moonlight hike for San Luis forever. I want it to be just me in the sky. My brother has been saying that I don't spend enough time with the kids, that I make plans without considering anyone else's feelings or wants, and that I am stuck in adolescence and refuse to root in reality. The issue, I guess, is that he can't give the kids a full vacation this year because he's stuck at work, as is his wife. They don't have another option and are begging me to take the kids. Here's the thing. I'm a 26-year-old guy. I love my niece and nephew, but I have no interest whatsoever in changing my plans to bring kids with me on a trip. I plan to hike, drink beer at all the near breweries, go to some baseball games with friends I haven't seen in years, probably hook up with fit people because the options in Ohio are depressing AF, etc. I don't want to cut those plans to do a bunch of kid-friendly stuff. They expect me to just give up my trip and take the kids on the hiking equivalent of the bunny slopes. And I'm getting so much grief from all of my family about it, including my mom who said she agrees with my brother and that it's time to settle down. He also complained that the kids complain that they don't see me enough, which is crazy because I'm over at their house every few weeks. I haven't told anyone yet, but while I'm back in Colorado, I'm going to look for a place to live comfortably. I don't want to live in boring Cincinnati, Ohio for the rest of my life. This is a different issue, I guess. Anyway, am I the a-hole for not taking my niece and nephew out to Colorado with me because their parents can't do it? Not the a-hole. I like how settling down apparently means take care of someone else's responsibilities. I'm sure your niece and nephew say they wish they saw you more often. You are probably more fun than their own parents. That doesn't mean you have to take them on vacation or do anything else their parents are responsible for. Go live your life. Sounds to me like brother is jealous of the child-free/burden-free life OP is enjoying. That I make plans without considering anyone else's feelings or wants, and that I am stuck in adolescence and refuse to root in reality. In other words, stop doing fun things by yourself, because if I can't, then nobody should be able to. Not stay home, obviously. Go enjoy life. Not stay home. And why on earth would you take anyone's kids mountain climbing with you? You don't say how old the kids are, but based on your age, I'm going to assume they are far too young to go mountain climbing. Also, what kind of unreasonable a-hole expects a 26-year-old uncle to take a couple of little kids for a couple of weeks, out of state anyway? This is ridiculous. Go climb things and have fun. They're 13 and 16, so definitely not too young, but neither of them are even in physical condition to do this. Update. Am I the a-hole for not helping my ex after her miscarriage? Original post. I, 21 male, dated my ex Paige, 22 female, all through high school. Our relationship was awful. In year 1 of college, I had a one-night stand and cheated on her. I know I'm the a-hole for that, but she wanted to work things out. A year later, I found out she'd been sleeping with one of our mutuals for months and ended things. Obviously, it was fair that she cheated, but we just weren't in love. We kept hooking up for a few months after and broke things for real 6 months ago. Weeks after we broke things off, Paige hit me up and told me she was pregnant and I was the dad. I didn't want to be with her, so I told her we could co-parent. She wasn't happy about that, but she didn't really get a choice. Well, a month or so after that, she called me sobbing and told me she miscarried. I was heartbroken but felt worse for her, because that's an awful thing to go through. I told her I'd help with any medical expenses or finding support groups or counseling resources. But she got upset at me for not being more supportive and staying with her at her place or calling her more. I have a new partner now and don't really talk to Paige, but some of her friends have texted me saying she hasn't recovered and wants to talk to me and that I should help her. I haven't checked in on her in a couple months. I don't expect her to be over the miscarriage at all, but I don't get why she's expecting me to be the one to help her through it. I'm not a professional, so I don't think I can help by being in touch with her. Am I the a-hole? Any advice is appreciated too. Edit to add. Sorry for the confusion. I didn't just cut her off after she miscarried. I'd text her every once in a while for a couple months afterward. Usually she'd text back, saying she wanted me to come stay with her. I'd decline and send her links to support groups and whatnot. Last time was in June. I asked her how she was. She said bad. I asked if she got help. She said no. I said she should and I'd be there to help navigate it, and that was that. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Do you have proof that she was ever pregnant in the first place? No, I don't. Maybe I'm stupid, but I didn't think I needed any. That's just such a big thing to lie about. Pregnancy right after you break contact. Miscarriage when that doesn't make you want to get back together. This is not exactly the first time this story has been told. If I believe her and I'm wrong, I risk getting duped and feeling bad for someone I'm not with anymore. If I don't believe her and I'm wrong, I'm accusing someone who just went through one of life's worst experiences of lying about it and adding in more hurt to what they're already going through. I totally get what you're saying, and it might even be true. I just don't think that possibility is worth considering, because it does more harm than good. Question. Do you know if she was sleeping with anyone else when you were casually both sleeping together post-breakup? How does she know you were definitely the father? You say a month or so after you found out she was pregnant, she called you sobbing and told you she miscarried. But you didn't tell us how long ago that event happened. Was it a couple of months ago, in the time you haven't checked up on her? This one's hard to judge whether you're the a-hole. You say it was a horrible relationship and you both cheated. You've now moved on and are seeing someone else. I'm going to say not the a-hole because contacting her might keep her in limbo with false hope if she still wants to get back with you. And it sounds like she did want to try working things out. Cutting contact might help her move forward. You're not together anymore. I don't see how talking to you is going to help her, unless she's using it as an excuse to talk to you. After what you both did in your relationship, it's time to move on. Checking in on her won't help her unless you both want to continue some sort of relationship. She claims she wasn't sleeping with anyone else during that time, and I have no reason to think she was lying, because I was open about sleeping with other people, so it's not like we were pretending to be exclusive. Sorry for being confusing with the timeline. She miscarried about 4.5 months ago. I last checked up on her 2-ish months ago. Appreciate the advice. Definitely time to move on from each other. It's just so much harder for her with what happened, understandably. Now for the first update. I wasn't going to update, but this got crazy. I have a friend, Anna, who's close with Paige and is also dating my best friend. Anna just got back from studying abroad, and this was our text conversation, copied and pasted since I can't post screenshots. Anna. Hey, this is really random, but did Paige talk to you about what happened in March? Me. Yeah, she hit me up right away. Why? Anna. I don't know, man. She told me what happened. I know things are weird with you too, and I just wanted to make sure she actually told you and that you went to a doctor. Me. Yeah, like a while ago. Did you want me to talk to her? Anna. I know she wants to talk to you, but that's not my business. I don't care. This isn't really my business either. I just wanted to make sure you were good. Me. Yeah, alright. Welcome back. Thanks for checking. I'm over it now, so I'm fine. I assumed she meant the miscarriage Paige's other friends texted me about when they asked me to help her through it. But when I saw Anna in person after this, she asked if being good meant testing negative or getting treatment. I was confused, so she explained what Paige told her, which I'm guessing is the truth. Paige told Anna that she had been sleeping around before and after we broke up and got pregnant. Paige was sure the baby was not mine and had an abortion. When she got checked afterward, in March, she was diagnosed with chlamydia. The only thing I'm mad about is that she didn't tell me she had an STD. I'm honestly over all the other stuff at this point. I also want to say that it's really weird Paige even told Anna. Anna was the one who caught me cheating and told Paige, and she was also the one who caught Paige cheating and told me. She's a great friend but can't keep secrets. Total narc. Not the person you go to if you want things kept quiet. Anyway, my partner and I now have appointments to get tested because I might have had chlamydia for 6 months. I don't know if I should text Paige and go off on her. I'm so pissed off. Edit to clarify, Anna being a narc isn't a bad thing. We call her that jokingly because she can't keep surprises and always spills secrets if it's the right thing to do. We love her for it because she keeps us in check. That was my fault for phrasing it poorly. Edit to add, I cheated once in a one-night stand 3 years ago. Anna knew the girl, found out, and, rightfully, told Paige. I got tested after. A year or so later, Paige started sleeping with one of our mutuals. She and Anna were roommates at the time, and Anna caught them in the act and told me. I'm not saying my cheating was better. It wasn't. It was the worst thing I've ever done. But I want to make it very clear that I did not give Paige chlamydia. I understand why people assumed I did. I explained things poorly. I'm just clarifying so people stop saying that the thing she gave me is actually on me. Your ex told Anna knowing it'd get back to you, so you either get tested but she doesn't have to tell you if it's true, or if it's not true, so you'll reach out even if it's to chew her out. Get tested. Don't engage with her. That's most likely what she wants. This makes a lot of sense. I was really confused about her telling Anna since there's no way she didn't think she would tell me. According to Anna, she didn't even say anything like, don't say anything to him. If negative, reaching out is definitely a no. If positive, I'm honestly not sure. Not the a-hole. I could be completely wrong and unfair to your ex, but I can't help but wonder if, in her head, this is how she is punishing you for failing to come back to the relationship. She didn't miscarry, she aborted. It's absolutely her right and her choice to do so, and probably wise under the circumstances. But one allows her to demand your sympathy and emotional support much more than the other. Yeah, I'm not upset about her choice at all. It wasn't my kid, and even if it was, it's her body. I am a bit upset I went through forcing myself to be excited about being a dad to cope and thinking I lost my kid to uncontrolled factors, when really I never had one to begin with, and the circumstances were controlled. Now for the last update. People asked for an update, so here I am. This morning my partner and I found out we have chlamydia and got antibiotics. My partner is surprisingly unbothered and has helped me calm down these past few days. I know I said I'd chew out Paige if I was positive, but now that I've calmed down, I see no point in it. Some told me I could sue her. I'm pretty sure I can't because she didn't know when we had sex, and even if I could, it's my senior year of college. I have other things to focus on. In other news, Anna cut off Paige and won't tell me why, but she says it has nothing to do with me. I'm kinda glad since Anna was our only real mutual, and Anna, her boyfriend, me and my partner are renting a place together soon. Doing that with my ex's friend might have been weird, but I'm also honestly really worried about Paige. Anna was her last rational and dependable friend. The other ones who wanted me to help her when she miscarried disappear when things get hard, and definitely wanted me to talk to her to get her off their hands. Either way, I won't reach out, especially since my relationship is going really well. I might ask Anna to maybe check in on her, but I won't push. Not much else to say. Don't be like me, since I had the clap for 6 months and didn't know. Get tested often and use protection. Edit. I'm trying very hard to stop doing stupid things, and per the advice I've gotten, asking Anna to check on Paige would go against that goal. So no need to worry. I finally blocked Paige and I'm putting this whole thing to rest. If you ask more, you'll open more doors. Not the a-hole. I mean, I'm curious what's behind the door of why Anna and Paige aren't friends anymore, but it's not my business, so I won't ask. I mean, it definitely sounds like it has everything to do with this drama and the fact that she's about to start living with you. I see why you think that. Anna's just not the type to lie, so when she says it has nothing to do with me, I believe her. We've had plans to all room together for months, and the drama has been happening the whole time. She never had a problem being friends with both Paige and me. Dude, don't ask Anna to check on her. That steps on Anna's boundaries. Cut her off and move on. If you think there is a legit danger there, if you truly believe she could harm herself, then you could reach out to her parents with an FYI, but nothing more. This is a really good point. I forgot I can still access literally anyone else in her life. I don't need to make this Anna's problem. Thank you. Next story. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend after I found out what she did after I asked for exclusivity? My girlfriend and I have been together for almost a year now. Things had been going pretty well. At least I thought they were. When I first asked her to be exclusive, she didn't say yes right away. She told me she needed some time to think about it. That kind of threw me off, but I didn't want to pressure her, so I gave her space. About a week later, she came back and told me yes, she wanted to be exclusive with me, and I thought that was the start of us building something real together. Fast forward to the other day. We were hanging out when one of her friends casually said, "Hey, did you hear Jake got a girlfriend?" At first, I didn't think much of it, but then I heard my girlfriend's reaction. She immediately blurted out, "Are you freaking serious? That a-hole told me he never wanted a relationship." I froze when I heard that. It wasn't the kind of reaction you'd expect if Jake was just some random guy, so I asked her who Jake was. She suddenly got really sheepish and tried to dodge the question. That only made me more suspicious, so I kept pressing her until she finally admitted the truth. Turns out Jake was a guy she was dating at the same time she was dating me, something I had no idea about. I started connecting the dots and realized this must have been going on during the time when she told me she needed to think about exclusivity. I asked her straight up what she had been doing with Jake while she was supposedly making up her mind about me. At first, she flat out refused to answer. She tried to brush it off and said it wasn't important anymore. I told her that if she couldn't be honest with me, I was done. That's when she finally confessed that she had asked Jake for exclusivity during that time, and he turned her down. That stung in a way I wasn't prepared for. It wasn't just that she had been seeing someone else while also dating me. It was the fact that, when I asked her to commit, she actually went and asked another guy first. The only reason she chose me was because Jake rejected her. In that moment, everything clicked, and I realized I couldn't just pretend this didn't matter. I told her that's exactly what I thought had happened, and then I walked away. I told her we were done. Now I'm left feeling conflicted. On the one hand, we've been together for almost a year, and a part of me feels like throwing that away is hard. On the other hand, knowing I was basically her second choice crushes me. It's like the foundation of our relationship was built on a lie. I keep going back and forth in my head. Was I right to walk away, or should I have tried to work through it? All I know is I can't stop replaying her words and realizing that if Jake had said yes, I probably wouldn't even be in this relationship right now. Now for the comments. Your instincts were right. For argument's sake, let's just say that dating two folk at once in the early days is okay. She was ultimately faced with a choice between you. She chose him, and he said no, so you were the backup. It hurts, but you've done the right thing. Not only that, but she was still mad about him, which means if she heard he was down for a relationship, she would have left OP in a minute. Bro, just a heads up in the future. If you ever ask a girl to be exclusive and she says she needs time to think about it, just walk away, because you ain't the one, amigo. This needs to be higher up. I was dating someone in early stages. Like 2 months in, they broke up via text while drunk. A day later, they were spamming me with calls and texts, saying they made a mistake and begging to get back together. Absolutely did not go back. I don't want to be with someone on the fence. I want someone who wants me. Not the a-hole. You handled it perfectly. You were the backup dude. Had Jake said yes, you'd have been cooked. In fact, based on old girl's reaction, had Jake reappeared at any point in the last year and changed his mind, she would have dumped you in a heartbeat at best, or cheated on you with him at worst. And now you cooked her. Rightfully so. She got exactly what she deserved. It's too bad that it took a year for it to come back around, but better late than never. Last story. Would I be the a-hole if I ghosted my boyfriend after surgery? I've been with my LDR almost 10 years. Some great, some good, some bad times. He's not verbally or physically abusive. He's a hard worker, handsome, etc. I can tell you a whole bunch of good things about him. However, every single time I ask him to do something with me or for me, he's agreeable until it's almost time for whatever it is. I asked him to go to my son's graduation. He said yes. Then all of a sudden, clutch your pearls, he couldn't go. He didn't have shoes. He would not go to my son's wedding last minute. No reasonable response. Now I'm having knee replacement surgery in September. For 3 months, he told me he was agreeable to come help me after surgery. After all, it's the least he could do. I helped him after surgery last year. He told me he requested the time off from work and just kept reminding me to check the status of his time off request. 2 weeks ago, he says, bad timing and/or a bunch of BS. I'm leaning towards BS. He contacted a lawyer regarding this workplace injury, etc., and that it hasn't healed correctly. If she can get workers' comp to approve PT, then the attorney says therapy is what he has to do for his case. While I do agree with the attorney that whatever they tell him to do in order to get his case settled, he has to do, and I certainly don't want him in pain. For the love of God, physical therapy wasn't 5 days a week last time. I'm sure it's not this time either. He said he was sorry, but I have 3 kids that can help me. By the way, he has kids that could and should have helped him. So would I be the a-hole if I just walk away from him without another word? Why would ghosting be your go-to option? Just tell him it's because he bails on you when you need him. Not the a-hole, but ghosting seems unnecessary unless there is info we are missing. No missing information. Just think he knows exactly why I would leave, and bluntly, even politely, would not make a difference. I've already told him about a month ago how many times he's let me down and how it hurt. He seemed unfazed, so to me it's pointless to repeat it and say goodbye. Not gonna lie, after 10 years of him bailing on the big stuff, it makes sense you're fed up. You wouldn't be the a-hole for walking away, but ghosting after that long might feel unfinished for you. If you're done, you're done. Just maybe give yourself closure too. I'm surprised that OP made it 10 years before getting fed up. The guy clearly doesn't care. Now for the mini update. I'm nicely surprised with the quick responses from so many of you. I know the right thing to do is tell him I'm leaving and why, but right now I'm hurt, frustrated, and angry. I don't want the last things I say to him to be nasty and hurtful, and I have a bit of a temper. So I'm debating if telling him I'm done and why would even be worth it. Not going to change anything, or if I should just quietly walk away and be done. My Reddit friends, you are all awesome.